Alright, listen up, because I'm only gonna tell the story once. The day I walked out of that corporate office, the stench of betrayal still clinging to my clothes, I knew my life had taken a sharp turn. The boardroom, once a place of power and prestige, had become a chamber of humiliation. My own colleagues, people I'd trusted, had turned against me. I'd blown the whistle on their environmental violations, and they'd made me the scapegoat. Publicly discredited, fired, and left to rot. But that was just the beginning of my journey. I remember the look on my family's faces when I told them I was pursuing bioacoustic ecology. The laughter, the sneers, the outright mockery. Hippie nonsense, my brother had called it. My parents, always the voice of reason, had just shaken their heads, disappointed. "You're throwing your life away, son," my dad had said. "You'll never amount to anything with this crazy idea." But I was determined. I'd been betrayed by my colleagues, mocked by my family, and I was done with the corporate world. I was going to prove them all wrong. I dove headfirst into the obscure field of bioacoustic ecology, studying animal communication to gauge ecosystem health. It was a long, lonely road. I spent years in the field, recording the sounds of nature, analyzing the data, and slowly but surely, I started to see patterns. I was on to something big. The ridicule didn't stop, though. Every time I went home, it was the same old song and dance. "Still chasing your pipe dream, I see," my sister would say, rolling her eyes. "When are you going to get a real job?" my mom would ask, her voice laced with disappointment. But I didn't let it get to me. I knew I was onto something, and I was going to see it through. And then, one day, it all paid off. I made a breakthrough. I developed a system that could detect early signs of ecological collapse by analyzing the sounds of the environment. It was a game changer, and the world took notice. I was invited to speak at conferences, interviewed by major news outlets, and even won a few awards. I was no longer the laughingstock of my family. I was a pioneer, a visionary, and I was making a real difference in the world. But I hadn't forgotten about my family. I hadn't forgotten the way they'd mocked me, the way they'd tried to tear me down. So I decided to give them a taste of their own medicine. I invited them to my latest project, a massive restoration effort in a barren wasteland. I wanted them to see firsthand what I'd accomplished, what they'd once called hippie nonsense. The day of the big reveal, I stood on a hill overlooking the transformed landscape. The once barren land was now a thriving ecosystem, teeming with life. The sounds of nature filled the air, a symphony of birdsong, insect chatter, and the rustling of leaves. It was a testament to my hard work, my dedication, and my unwavering belief in my dream. My family arrived, their faces a mix of curiosity and skepticism. I could see the doubt in their eyes, the same doubt that had once fueled their ridicule. But I didn't let it get to me. I knew what they were about to see, and I knew it would change everything. As we walked through the restored landscape, I could see the shock on their faces. The transformation was undeniable, a stark contrast to the barren wasteland they'd once known. I explained how I'd used my bioacoustic system to detect the early signs of ecological collapse and how I'd worked to reverse the damage. I told them about the awards I'd won, the conferences I'd spoken at, and the lives I'd touched. And then I turned to them, my voice steady and sure. "This is what you called hippie nonsense," I said, my eyes locked onto theirs. "This is what you said I'd never amount to. But look around you. Look at what I've accomplished. Look at the difference I've made." The silence was deafening. I could see the realization dawning in their eyes, the understanding that they'd been wrong. They'd mocked me, ridiculed me, and tried to tear me down. But I'd risen above it all, and I'd proven them wrong. My dad was the first to speak. "I'm sorry, son," he said, his voice heavy with emotion. "I didn't believe in you. I didn't see the potential in you, but I see it now. I see what you've accomplished, and I'm proud of you." One by one, the rest of my family followed suit. Apologies poured out, each one a testament to the power of my journey, the strength of my conviction, and the undeniable truth of my success. As I stood there, surrounded by the transformed landscape and the love of my family, I knew I'd finally found my place in the world. I'd been betrayed, mocked, and ridiculed, but I'd risen above it all. I'd proven them wrong, and in doing so, I'd proven myself right. And that, my friends, is the power of belief, the power of conviction, the power of never giving up, no matter what obstacles stand in your way. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what others think of you. It's about what you think of yourself. And if you believe in yourself, if you believe in your dreams, then nothing can stand in your way. So go out there and chase your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. Don't let anyone tear you down or make you feel small, because you are capable of greatness. You are capable of achieving your dreams. And when you do, when you stand on the mountaintop of your success, you'll look back and see that all the naysayers, all the doubters, all the mockers were wrong. And you'll know, deep in your heart, that you've proven them all wrong. And that, my friends, is the sweetest victory of all.